Hi guys, and welcome to another match from the Smithskin Community Smite League. This is the first time that we're seeing two new teams, Fwoggy Gang and the Gardening Tools. I'm your caster for this set today, Bob Rob. I'm missing another caster at the moment. They might be jumping in later, but we'll see. It might just be me for this one. We're going to see some very predictable bands coming out. Bakasura and Ratatoska, both very strong in the jungle at the moment. Very strong picks since that Ratatoska rework has put him in such a strong position at the moment. So I do believe we have Foggy Gang on the left in the blue and Gardening Tools in the red. So I wonder if we'll see. We've seen a lot of common bans over these past couple of sets. Things like Freya, Persephone, things that are really prevalent in today's meta. And I wonder if we'll see any difference in that, or maybe they'll slip through the bans and get picked up. We do see an Olran get locked in as a ban here. I wonder if that's perhaps a response to the Olran we saw earlier on in the week. It was very dominant in that duo lane. And again, all of those magical ADCs really making a huge impact at the moment. And we do see an Ao Kwang ban as well, very prominent at the moment. He can be built in a variety of different ways. Could be taken to the jungle. Has even seen some promise in mid as well, perhaps, but he will get banned out. And I like this Aphrodite ban as well. I think she, healing has been very prevalent at the minute, especially in the solo lane. We've seen some Hades gameplay early on in the week, and that sustain is so useful, especially when you can bring it to a team fight composition later on as the match goes on. And I think, while Aphrodite might struggle with some matchups due to getting out pressured, I do think that sustain is so useful. Freya will get banned out. I think that's definitely a sensible ban there. We will see Scylla locked in. Again, very strong if she gets to that late game. And Arachne, a very strong pick again. We've seen Arachne banned quite a bit this league so far. I'm sure we'll continue to do so. She's in a very strong position at the moment. Once she's got you locked down, she can take you out really quickly with things like Golden Blade, and then heal up because of her one steroid. I wonder if now that they've got their jungler locked in, if perhaps we'll see their next two bans go towards that assassin jungle role as well. And a Sobek will get locked in as well. I think that's a strong pick in the duo lane. We have seen him earlier on this week. And I think that, as long as you can land those plucks and get some follow-up from your ADC, be very strong. It's possible that Sobek could be going to the solo lane. It has been done before. But it's usually a bit of an off-meta pick. Seeing this Kali pick up, we did see a Kali yesterday who was really popping off with that devastating quadra-kill at the end. So I think they're looking to achieve the same sort of results here. And an Ulla as well, very strong pick. I'm sure that will go well with whichever support they end up picking, because I think Ulla, he has so many abilities and so much utility to him. So that he can stun you out with the axe and then get all this damage off. He's got good wave clear, a bit mana hungry, but as long as he can keep up his mana, he can pump out a lot of damage and a lot of utility. And we will see Baron picked up as well. I think that this Baron pick could be mid, but I think it's more likely going to be in solo. We've seen a lot of him in solo. I think he can work in either role, but I think teams have been getting a lot of good use out of him in the solo because he can build those slightly tankier stats and just be more of a CC machine with a built-in healing as well. Yemoja and Heimdall bans coming in. I think these are, again, very strong gods. I'm surprised they made it that late into the ban phase, but haven't been picked up so much this tournament so far. But they will get banned out now, and I think obviously targeting the duo lane here. Um, with gardening tools banning out some of the supports because they have yet because Froggy Gang have yet to pick up their support, and Froggy Gang are gonna pick out the ADC role because they've got their Ulla locked in. They're safe and sound, so they're just gonna try and limit the amount of choices that gardening tools have. On an insta-locked Rama there, I think that's a very strong pick, especially with the Sobek, as he can follow up really well with those crippling arrows. We did see very strong performance from Arama yesterday as well, so he can clearly get the results. Especially if he's got a really good pilot behind him. Cerberus and Athena will go the way of Froggy Gang. I think uh, double Guardian is an interesting setup, but I guess as long as they can keep their squishies safe, and I think Cerberus will probably be heading to the solo. He's seen a lot of use there, and I think he's got the sustain to keep him going there. And Athena, obviously, with that global presence, you just can't forget about it because she could appear at any moment and really swing fights all across the map. Discordia will be the final pickup from Gardening Tools, and I think that's a very strong mid laner that can definitely go toe to toe with Scylla fairly safely, and offers just as much presence as a Scylla would in that later team fight stage. Obviously, the golden apple causing a lot of chaos across the team if she lands it. I think we might see a bit more aggression from gardening tools, especially in that duo lane. I think the Sobek Rama will definitely be looking for some early picks. If Sobek can get the pluck and if Rama can cripple them out of that so they can't even escape, I think that'll be a very powerful combo. Though, likewise, on the sides of Foggy Gang, we do have the Athena into the Ulla. So obviously, if Athena gets her taunt off, which is on fairly low cooldown, so she can use it quite a bit, and so she'll likely hit a few taunts. Ulla can then, if he's quick enough, got the reaction speed, can throw that axe out and just keep them CC'd for that bit longer and get even more damage off of them. We're just loading into the map now. I think two very solid drafts from both teams. I think nothing totally out of the ordinary has slipped through. I think the Arachne could be pretty pivotal if that can get online. But Arachne, can get shut down quite early on and can struggle a little bit. Now it's possible. Again, same thing goes for the Kali. We saw yesterday a huge Kali quadra kill. She just sort of popped off and kept going for target after target. But she can definitely struggle in the earlier stages before she's got items like that Golden Blade that can be so crucial to that auto attack build. Clearly, some build decisions being made here as in bases. I think perhaps we have a pause coming out as well. We will get back into it. I think perhaps just a bit of communication there, just making sure everyone's on the same page and the same game plan. And I think as we move into this game, I think both teams' communication will be crucial, and I think we'll be able to see the effects of that with things like that Sobek Pluck combo, or even things like the Athena ultimate. I always know when people are playing Athena and you've got them in comms, it can definitely it definitely makes that ultimate a lot more useful when you can coordinate it with the team. Because obviously you can ensure that they're going in the right time, give them the protections, and help them out. Just going to see a very quick clear on the speed buff there, and you see Arachne doesn't need any leash there from a mid laner. And you see this, yeah, Sobek just going straight at him because he knows he can. Smithing on the ADC will just lock him down with the axe and just keep him away. Now Athena's gone for the back harpies there just to get that bit more XP and presumably to allow Smiskin's Ulla to just farm that little bit extra as he gets the wave to himself. It's an interesting start there, and perhaps a bit of a risky one because of, like I said, that early aggression from Gardening Tools duo lane. And we're going to see another pause here, perhaps just ironing out some issues. And again, at this early stage in the game, I don't think that's going to, this isn't going to be anything super important. They're not going to be, changing any game plan or any, perhaps sharing any ideas. That'll just be a technical issue. So we did see Baron did get a very quick blue and is already in lane, whereas Cerberus taking a little bit longer to get that buff down. As expected, I guess, from the Guardian, he's got slightly lower damage numbers than Baron would. It's definitely a scary position as Baron can also clear the wave a bit better. But I think as we, both of those solo laners, they bring pretty impactful teamfight ultimates. The Baron Coffin and the Cerberus knockup will, if you get caught out by those, that's a very, they're both very scary and AoE CCs. A little bit of a tussle around the oracles, but I think they're going to get away unscathed. Dangerous positioning from this Athena, but we are going to see 2 kills picked up from the side of Gardening Tools. Again, in that solo lane, Baron just being able to out-duel his lane opponent in the Cerberus. Very early on, I think his base values are going to win out there. And we did see Arachne pick up a kill as well, which is obviously very scary, as you do not want to see her hit that late game. And we're going to see a little bit of an XP camp invade on the duo lane. A little bit cheeky, they've taken the wave, they've used that aggression to try and secure some other objectives. We'll get a fight here for it. Again, it's very dangerous for, I think, for Athena as well because of the Rama cripple arrows, but they will go in on the Sobek instead because he stayed around a little too long. Rama's caught out of position, but I think he still has the dash roll. He might just be able to get out of there. There he goes. Both teams are very low in this duo lane. Swiskle will fight it out and will lose to the Rama, and Rama will also clean up the Athena. It's a very dangerous fight there. I think, both duos were very making some interesting decisions and sort of, forcing that fight round the XP buff there. A little bit of a gank coming in from solo. I think Arachne is going to try and make things happen as much as she can early on. And try and outscale this Kali, get to the late game before her. See just that chase potential with those, usually Arachne is not a very mobile god, but recently obviously she's seen a big resurgence. And just that trail from the spider's web, giving that huge speed up that's really useful in this early game. People don't have boots online and that sort of thing, they can't get out quite as easily. Very low there, and a solo kill from Discordia. It's a very nice route, and I think Scylla's dash must have been down. She must have used it. Which is a very tricky position to be in, and Discordia can land that golden apple and just pop it for the free kill. We do see Fwoggy Gang did take the XP buff, but are in a bit of trouble here as Arachne comes in. Athena will go down there, and Arachne's going to keep chasing the Yola. Rama takes this guys and does fire the arrows down. He hit 2 of them, and that'll be enough for the Arachne to clean it up. I think this is getting a little bit out of hand on the the Arachne, and I think the Rama early as well will definitely benefit from those few extra levels on the enemy team. So I think once that Arachne hits that late game, much like Kali, it's very scary to go up against. So a little bit of a lead on the side of Gardening Tools. They've got a little bit extra gold, and still getting picked out by that root and is Perhaps, didn't give Arachne too much, didn't give Arachne enough room there, and Sobek does be a little bit cheeky behind the tower and picks it up with his big cleave heel. Cerberus is in a bit of trouble here, won't hit the coffin though. Baron's getting quite low, although Baron does have the extra sustain from his healing abilities. Kali will come in and try and secure it, but she's already used the stun. Misses the leap. Athena will come in just to make sure. And as the whole team comes over, Athena was probably very vigilant there, knowing that the team was coming over. Arachne will get picked up by the Kali, and they're going to try and keep this running down the solo, but so it will get away. He's got too much protections. And you see how you know, how much impact that Athena ult had there. You know, initially I thought it was a bit preemptive, maybe a bit too soon. But clearly, you know, they knew that something was going on in solo, and they needed to be there. And you see how Sobek rotated just a little too late, and Athena was already there in the midst of the fight. So Sobek was a little too late to make an impact, whereas Athena was already dueling them. And we will see a level lead to the Rama here with his 3 kills. Not too far ahead at the moment. I think the Olo can farm it back up. They've just got to be careful, I think, because this Rama has gone for the Devourer's Gauntlets, and he's already got 35 stacks on them from both minions and from some of those kills, I'm sure. Whereas the Ula going for more of the sort of traditional power-based Transcendence, most likely. We'll get those online a little bit later, which is definitely a tricky position to be in. 3 grouped up from the gardening tools in the mid lane, trying to make some plays. Again, just leaving that Rama to solo kill because they know he can pull it off. Stilla will get plucked and rooted and is done for there with the 3 members waiting for Athena's trying to make something happen, but it's a little bit too late. Rama will take that dual lane tower fairly uncontested as he's already solo killed the Ulla. That's a very dangerous game for Fwoggy Gang now. They've got to try and stay on the defensive, try and take what they can. We will see Gold Fury likely go the way of the gardening tools. I think Athena just looking for a bit of a cheeky steal there, but won't find it. And a very nice bounce on the apple there will hit the Kali, because I think Athena was definitely going to go down, but trying to get the Kali as well is a very clever move from the Discordia there. You know, I think the gardening tools can definitely afford to be a bit more risky with these plays now that they've got that lead, and try and you know, try and push that lead even further, try and get even more off of it. You see a 2-level difference in that mid lane is so tricky, especially as Scylla, you know, Scylla wants to hit that late game as she gets the extra effects from her abilities as she levels them. Discordia is very low, but might just get away. We'll see a shell come out to try and save her. And it will go down to the Cerberus. Big Cerberus ult here, plucking 2 members. See some follow-up from the Scylla and the Kali to get that damage out. Kali will pop the ult just to be sure, and Arachne will also pop her ult to get out of there. We've got to be careful of that Baron also pushing down that solo tower. You see, as they're fighting here, he's going to get some more objectives from it, as that was an uneven fight. Athena ult's coming into that mid lane just to save Cerberus. But not going to make too much happen from it. Sobek's a little bit out of position, but he might just walk out of there alive. Will get taunted back in and is still sticking around. I think he knows that once his team have got that pressure in that solo lane, he can lurk around. You know, he can cause some distractions, as he knows that Arachne and Baron are not too far away. He's trying to make something happen, which is very difficult with that Sobek peeling. And Arachne as well, lurking in the back. You see no mana on Scylla. Very dangerous, and the apple will pop and deal with her. Arachne's going to try and find this Kali, but she doesn't quite have the movement speed, but Sobek will have the pluck. See all 3 members just getting duped out by this Kali now, which is very dangerous. You might be able to spin this one around. Athena will try and make something happen, but doesn't quite have the damage. It's quite frustrating there. Sobek causing a big pluck. I think he's just trying to get them off at this point. I think they've got their kills and they just want to get out of there. Although Rama perhaps sneaking around, trying to look for something. Very big level lead on this Rama. 6-0, 13, level 13 when the others are just level 9. I think they've noticed that and they want to try and focus him down, but he's just too fast. Big ult just to pluck him. You see that big focus there because they know that he is the problem. And he will go down to the Fwoggy gang. And you notice with all these fights, it's so tricky for Fwoggy gang because even though they picked off that Rama, got the shutdown gold, you know, Baron wasn't even in the fight. He hasn't been in any of the team fights so far. He's just been slowly pushing his lane away because they've got that level lead. You know, it takes more members from the Fwoggy gang to fight fewer members from the gardening tools, which frees them up to 2 other objectives. Athena gets hit with a big pluck there and will go down. You see this constant siege of the solo lane. I think gardening tools looking to take that Pyromancer, as they know they've taken those few picks. And they're going to go for an objective to push that lead ahead even further. I'm not sure this Cerberus can really fight into this Baron anymore. I think he's you know, 2 level advantage, and I think naturally Baron does a lot more damage anyway. And here you go on the graphs. A lot of you know, a big gap between these two teams, XP and gold. So it's going to be very tricky, especially as you know, gardening tools being very coy with their objective taking and not getting too greedy at this point, even though their advantage can afford them some riskier plays. I think it's tricky for this Athena to try and contest the oracles. I think Arachne just does too much damage. We'll just walk away from her though. We see a bit of this grouping around mid. It's very dangerous. You see Cerberus with their big team fight ult isn't there, and you know, Athena's sort of slightly off to this one side as well. I think they will look to do this Fury here. But at the very least, they're trying to sort of force a fight around it. It's by sort of baiting the objectives. So they know they've got that advantage. They know that Fwoggy gang can't contest it that much. Athena's very low, but a big Cerberus ult will keep them away. We do see a kill coming out there. Sobek does go down, but at the cost of 2 members of Fwoggy gang. Again, Rama with the triple kill, he will take them down. I think they're looking for this Ulla here. Arachne might just be able to catch up if she has her ult, but I think she doesn't. And Scylla just coming in just in case. And you see how dangerous that Gold Fury bait was, or the Oni Fury, sorry. It's because, you know, they stand by the objective, but they're not actually doing it. And they say, look, you're going to come and fight me, or we're going to take the objective for free. And you know, it's a very risky position. As Fwoggy gang, you know, they don't want to let it go, but also you see how they came off of that so much worse than when they went in, losing 3 members and still lost the Fury. This is going to be a tricky uphill fight for the Fwoggy gang. I think, yeah, especially with that Oni wave coming through. They've got to keep an eye on all of their lanes because they can't forget about that siege now. Trying to lock down that Sobek, starting taking damage from tower. He's so tanky at this point, I don't think he's really too worried about it. Discord is a bit low on mana, so might not be able to help out in this fight, but Arachne's got the damage. And the apple will also land and keep Athena away. Rama's here as well with his huge crit. Definitely be tricky, and as he does take down the Kali as well, clearly her ultimate wasn't online there. Aim for Rama ult's going to aim for Athena, and Arachne's going to go really deep for it and will die for it, but does still get the kill. Ullr's going to try and hold down this Phoenix as he realizes the tier 2 is more or less already gone. I think we'll see a rotation from the Cerberus, but it might be too little too late, as we do have 4 members still online for the gardening tools. Syl will come out to try and help out the defense. You'll see a big Aegis there saving the Rama. Spin to end there for the Sobek, does deal with the Cerberus. Athena ult's coming in. Gonna really try and focus down on that Rama, but he's almost getting away. Big Shell will peel for him. Now Athena's caught out of position. Although you see the gardening tools are slowly starting to get quite low. They will take down the Scylla. You know, even though he's got no mana, he can still fight into it. I think this is you know, it's a very impressive Phoenix defense. I think yeah, they've managed to keep it going. Lost a few members along the way, but have managed to clean up a few kills of their own. And you know, with these death timers, look at that, 45 seconds-ish. Now getting quite long, and so you know, if you do go down, it's even more devastating for your team. You can lose even more off of it. You know, one good team fight the way of gardening tools, we might see game. So you know, Fwoggy Gang's got to be really conscious of that, and I think they've got to be very, very clever about which fights they pick. Going to see a Pyromancer started by gardening tools. Kali's just scoping it out, but won't be able to contest it in any way. Cerberus is going to likely get ganked here. Or maybe Cerberus will actually try and juke back into the team. He is very, he is surrounded by members of the gardening tools. It's very tanky, but I'm not sure if he can tank all 5, although he will hit a big ult. Hitting 3 of them, and Scylla with a follow-up will deal a lot of damage there. Kali will also take some down. Will also go down to the... we might see a huge push here, as only 1 member of the Fwoggy Gang remains. There you go. It's up to Smithskin, namesake of the league, to try and defend this last point. Save the Phoenix. That'll be enough. His next teammate will be up in around 5 seconds with the Athena. Or juking the armor ult. Very impressive there. Titan will be starting to deal with the Sobek. He will lock him down under the Titan. And that was a very nice play from Ullr, and he gets out alive. Sobek still caught between the Phoenixes, so they will try and push him off, and will use the blink to get over the wall. That was a very, very clever play, very clever use of the relics. Will live on very low HP. You see, even though they're very behind here, I think they've done a really good job. Fwoggy Gang, I think they've done a really good job of, you know, ensuring that Phoenix stays up whatever the cost. Kali will move in on this Baron. He is 2 levels above, but now Kali will start to pop off as she does hit this late game curve. Discordia with no mana won't be able to dash, and Kali will pick that one up as well. Did see Arachne take down the Scylla there. We have 3v2 in the mid lane. Once Kali goes down, you see that damage missing from the side of Fwoggy Gang, although Ullr might be able to make up for it. Arachne looking for a bit of a re-engage once she can get her damage off. Athena's very low. See Ullr very low as well, and I think Arachne's going to try and get these follow-up kills. And will go down to the Cerberus. I think he was slowly sort of working away at her as she was in that team fight. But I think Rama, again there, you know, once he was plucked, that he was done for. 2 team members alive from Fwoggy Gang, with the Athena and Scylla going to be on that Phoenix defense. This relentless assault from the gardening tools. Scylla just getting cleaned up there by the Rama at level 19. Not so much she can do. Kali can probably make it happen though, if she's got her ult on 9. You see Rama's just waiting. He hasn't even fired any of those shots, and he's waiting for that ultimate to run out. See how much he's life stealing as well. He might be able to deal with this Athena as well. fully stacked Devourer's Gauntlets definitely give you a lot of it. And again, Phoenix is down, but will maybe have a trickier time of defending Titan. I'd be interested to see if Gardening Tools perhaps back off here, try and take Fire Giant perhaps, and don't overstay their welcome. You see that right side solo tower is also slowly getting chipped away by minions, so perhaps that'll be their next target. Well, they're just going to keep fighting at this point. And I think this is probably what Fwoggy Gang wants. So I think they want the enemy team to stick around and not get so many objectives, because obviously they're slowly building up their own levels in XP and trying to narrow that gap down. We'll see if Fire Giant started here. It's nearly done for. I think Fwoggy Gang are just going to let it go. See this Arachne behind enemy lines here. Perhaps spotting out that Scylla. Although what she doesn't see is the Yola coming over as well. She will blink onto it, and look at that damage. In a matter of seconds, they will go down to the Kali and Ulla. I think that's a pretty favourable trade for Fwoggy Gang. I think Arachne is such a key piece of the Gardening Tools puzzle that losing your Scylla to it, I don't think Scylla's had the biggest impact. This game's still only level 14, so perhaps that's a solid trade there. And as well, if you think about tower damage, Arachne's certainly got a lot of it, whereas Scylla not so much. Bit of a push here coming in on the left side, Phoenix. It is only the duo versus more or less all 5 members of the Fwoggy Gang. Perhaps they'll look to focus down that level 20 Rama. It's got 19 kills at this point. Very scary. So you've got to be very careful as well when they try and teamfight him. Big taunt coming out from Athena, but not so much follow-up there, and Shell will come out and sort of undo all that work Athena did. Cerberus perhaps is looking for the ult here as well. We see, meanwhile, while we've got all 5 Fwoggy Gang in mid, we did see 2 members from Gardening Tools take down that tier 2 tower on the solo side. It'll be full Titan defense here, as we do see 2 members go down. Very tricky as they go back to Fountain to try and heal up. But all are still online. He might have the damage to do it. Huge Cerberus ult might try and get them under Fountain, but not quite. They'll pick up a kill there onto the Sobek. Rama is also down, so maybe they can do it. Arachne is very low as well, and that's a big part of their damage too. Though no damage dealers on the side of Fwoggy Gang, will see the game go to the Gardening Tools.